210 years, the faculty and graduates of the University of Maryland School of Medicine have been transforming the trajectory of medicine. This year we celebrate the outstanding institution that we have become, and we honor the successes and the milestones of our historic journey.
Our journey begins with 7 visionary doctors who, striving to formalize the study of medicine, successfully lobby the state legislature to establish the College of Medicine of Maryland.
Without a doubt, the 2 most significant players in the early founding of the medical school were John Davidge and Nathaniel Potter. They had the vision to bring together their colleagues in the form of a medical institution that could educate the next generation of physicians.
With dedicated faculty, our tradition of excellence in preparing doctors continues to be recognized throughout the country.
This was significant because it was making a statement to the public that formalized medicine is here to stay, and it's important.
As I begin this next stage of my medical education, I pledge to act in the best interests of my patients.
While true to our founders' original mission of education,
I'm going to talk about the future.
faculty now prepares students for a very different world of medicine.
Being a student in medical school in the 21st century, there is so much information everywhere. It is impossible to learn everything about every disease in 4 years of schools. It's really about knowing how to access that information in a way that's clinically helpful to the patient in the moment.
So when we do prescribing for children,
With dedicated faculty, our tradition of excellence in preparing doctors continues to be recognized throughout the country.
We hear from residency programs all over the country that our students, when they graduate and go on to their residency programs, are fantastic. They are successful, they thrive, they're wonderful clinicians, and I think so much of that is due to the quality of the teaching here.
This is so exciting, right? This is such a wonderful day. One of the, I think, our favorite days in all 4 years of medical school.
Our history with vaccines begins in the early 19th century with one of our founding faculty, Dr. John Crawford, who realizes the potential of vaccines for preventing smallpox. By the 20th century, the School of Medicine had assumed a role of global leadership in vaccine development.
I believe in vaccines, almost like a religion. I believe that prevention is the key to the health of the world in the future.
The Center for Vaccine Development was founded by Dr. Mike Levine. It was one of the first academic centers focusing on vaccine development in the entire country. So Dr. Levine has really been a pioneer in modern vaccinology.
Today, the center continues to grow in developing, testing, and deploying vaccines.
We are getting geared up to do clinical trials and submit an application to the FDA.
And this could have huge impact, not only on preventing deaths and hospitalizations, but as we know, that antimicrobial resistance issue, because these antibiotics are used indiscriminately in many of these places. So if you prevent the fever, you prevent the use of those antibiotics.
One of the emerging global priorities for the researchers at the Center for Vaccine Development is antimicrobial resistance.
The United States has recognized that we have infections in our hospitals that may be untreatable soon because of antimicrobial resistance. So we are working on a number of vaccines for pathogens for which we are worried about antimicrobial resistance.
Building on the worldwide platform of the Center for Vaccine Development, in 2015, the Institute of Global Health is established under the leadership of Dr. Plough.
We really try to collaborate with everyone within the School of Medicine and other schools on campus. I think some of our strongest collaborations occur with other institutes here in the School of Medicine. We are expanding the institute to remain very strong in malaria and vaccine development, but also look at other important aspects of global health throughout the world.
The School of Medicine plays an early role in the diagnosis of cancer when in 1866, a graduate, Dr. Francis Donaldson, uses the microscope to describe cancer cells. In the next century, the treatment of cancer is transformed by Dr. Angela Brody.
We're really delighted that after many years of struggling over this development of this particular compound for breast cancer treatment, that it has really come to fruition in the last few years, and that women are benefiting from it all over the world.
One of the most important achievements in the history of the School of Medicine is the development of aromatase inhibitors in the laboratory of Dr. Angela Brody. These compounds that were developed by Dr. Brody in the late 80s have really revolutionized the treatment of breast cancer and are really now the standard of care around the world. They've saved many, many thousands of lives, and really, I think, are among the most important advances in the treatment of breast cancer in the last century.
In 2008, the MARLENE and STEWART GREENEBAUM Cancer Center is recognized as one of the leading research centers in the country.
We were very fortunate in 2008 to become an NCI-designated cancer center, designated by the National Cancer Institute. That places us among the top cancer research centers in the country. This past year, we moved to the highest elevation, which is comprehensive cancer center status. There are only 45 cancer centers in the United States that have that designation, and that's emblematic of the importance and the quality of the research that goes on here.
This highest recognition by the National Cancer Institute reflects the breakthrough research conducted by the center.
One of the areas that we're very excited about is the area of immunotherapy. We've developed a strong research program in tumor immunology and immunotherapy, and with philanthropic support from the Angelos family, we're developing a new laboratory to provide cell-based therapies, genetically engineered cells that can be taken from a patient, reworked in the laboratory, and given back to the patient to help fight their cancers. This, I think, is part of a coming revolution in the way we treat cancer patients.
Hey, Dr. Collins.
Good to see you. Good to see you. Thank you so much for coming in.
Each day, the dedication of Dr. Cullen and the physicians and researchers at the Cancer Center provides the gift of life for patients.
One of the things that I know is that the experience that I've had over the past 20 years, I would not be here were it not for the care, not only that I got from Dr. Cullen, but his colleagues, and from my primary care doctor. It's one thing to be a patient and not have, a positive outlook. But that positive outlook came from being with Dr. Cullen, being a patient of his, and it's just been remarkable. It's been a very good experience.
You're cured. It's wonderful.
Now, it comes from the heart. I don't have to script it. I mean, I know. He knows how I feel about it.
Not even the most clairvoyant of our founding faculty could have envisioned today's medicine in transplantation and cardiovascular and neurological diseases, or the new world defined by the Institute for Genome Sciences.
The transformation of medicine in the past 210 years is almost beyond description. But even during the period of my career, the last 20 years or so, when I've been involved heavily in genomics research, things have changed so dramatically. In part, it's been driven by the very rapid advances in technology that even allow us now to think about generating genome information as a starting point for the practice of medicine.
So this one is really interesting. It shows that
Collaborating with investigators from numerous groups on campus, IGS researchers contribute the new frontier of genome sciences to understanding disease.
given the history of falciparum malaria.
Dr. Joanna Silva works closely with the Institute for Global Health to unravel the mysteries of malaria.
Joanna was involved in some of the earliest genomics studies on Plasmodium, and now she is using genomics approaches to really explore the emergence and spread of resistance to anti-parasitic drugs in Africa and in Asia.
These new frontiers of genomics offer breakthroughs to further expand the parameters of medicine.
Today, we're on the cusp of an era where genome sequence information will very likely become part of everybody's health record and will be referred to over and over again throughout a lifetime. I think what we're going to see is a completely different paradigm in the practice of medicine based on genomics.
The School of Medicine boasts a 19th century precursor to trauma medicine with Professor William Hammond, who recognizes the importance of rapidly evacuating injured soldiers and the need for a systematic approach to saving lives. 100 years later, the field of trauma medicine is born.
The golden hour is 60 precious minutes. You have only a short time to be brought out of shock. You're not going to survive.
Dr. Cowley founded the place. He was really the person that understood that injury is a disease. Nobody else got that until he did. And he recognized that organizing trauma care would save lives.
The 21st century has seen extraordinary innovations at the Shock Trauma Center.
I was competing in the Rock Hall Olympic Triathlon. In the end, I ended up suffering a near-fatal heat stroke. My body rose to above 107 degrees, and I passed out, and I woke up 6 days later here. I would not be alive without shock trauma, that's for sure.
5 years ago, he clearly would not have survived. We have now a machine to replace liver function. It's a dialysis machine for the liver like we use for the kidney. We've been using that for maybe 3 or 4 years. Saved his life for sure. He had no functioning liver, none. Back to work. Looks wonderful.
Patients are a living testimony to the advances in trauma medicine under the leadership of Shock Trauma.
One of the great realizations over the last 10 years is that nothing's impossible. The idea that you can't do is really evaporated. It's not can you, it's how are we going to make it happen.
They're the best. They're the absolute best. It's incredible what they do here. I mean, I really shouldn't be here. I can say thank you as many times as possible, but they'll never know. I can never thank them enough.
Our founding faculty could never have imagined the 21st century medicine practiced today at the University of Maryland.
While continuing the mission that began in this historic Davidge Hall, you, our faculty and students, will envision the undiscovered promise of tomorrow.
So I will remember that warmth, empathy, and the art of medicine are as vital as scientific knowledge to the care I provide. To these goals, I dedicate myself in the honorable traditions of the School of Medicine.
I'm pleased to welcome the class of 2019 as the newest student clinicians at the University of Maryland School of Medicine. Congratulations to all of you.